Yo guys, hope you're all doing well after this stormy week in London. Before I get started with the video, I need to make some corrections to my previous Ultimates guide for Mirage. Respawn has actually updated the Ultimate for Mirage and its decoys are no longer static. In fact, they can run alongside the main character now. This does make his Ultimate far more useful in various scenarios. With that said, we can move on to Bloodhound today, who has easily become my favourite legend in the game now. And I happen to think he's one of the most overpowered legends in the game, especially when comboed with Bangalore, but we'll get into more of that later in the video. As always, the main purpose of this guide and tutorial is to help you branch out with new legends and perhaps adopt different playstyles. Timestamps have been added below for your convenience, and if you happen to enjoy the video, maybe drop a like and subscribe. Bloodhound is one of the more unique legends in the game. And the reason I say unique is because he is the only legend in the game to be assigned the tracker symbol. Apex Legends seems to have 4 classes as of right now in the game, and these are represented by the symbols on top of the legends during the character selection screen. You have your typical assaults, your support class, medics, and a tracker. Bloodhound's in-game description defines him as a technological tracker. His abilities allow him to identify where enemies are or have been. It makes him a good scout for your teammate as well as making him particularly useful in close quarters. It should be noted that Bloodhound is not due any changes in the coming season that we know of. Okay, let's get into specifics. All legends are assigned unique abilities, so we'll start there. Tracker is a very useful ability and can be used to survey an area which was or has been populated by the enemy. Essentially, the player can visualize the enemy's movements through the use of in-game icons. These icons can show recently opened doors, if the enemy has used a zipline, blood from a wounded player where a player died, and what I find to be the most useful, their footprints. These footprints provide some basic information such as age and direction. You're essentially given a snapshot of the enemy's location, and if all the clues are tracked correctly, it should essentially lead you and the squad to the enemy team. This doesn't bode well for campers. When using Tracker, be sure to communicate with your team, as they cannot see the clues left behind, so it's your job to keep them in the know. The other great thing about this ability is that it has no specific activation or cooldown. The ability will continue to run in the background, so as long as the information displayed is no older than 60 seconds. Last but not least, keep a close eye on the clues you find. Whilst they mostly identify enemy movements, you can learn what kind of weapons have been used by checking the spent shell casings. Knowing what type of weaponry you are up against may alter your playstyle. Again, another ability which has a lot of use not only for yourself but also for your squad. Let me explain. This ability will create a radar pulse that radiates out in front of you, passing through walls, terrain and any other obstacles. It will briefly reveal hidden enemies, traps and clues. The information displayed to you will also be displayed to your squad. So if an enemy is hiding in a room or behind a wall, so as long as you can see it, they can too. It's used best in scenarios where you are pushing the enemy team in a building and need to get a good idea of where everyone is spread out. Bear in mind that whenever you use this ability, everyone including the enemies can see and hear this pulse. So when enemies are nearby, you've likely gone and revealed your location. The ability's range is extremely short. If you're backed up against a building or standing at a door, the pulse won't reveal the entire building. It's a good balance to what would otherwise be an overpowered ability. Another important point to note is that the ability does not track enemy movements. It will only display their last location, so it's best to communicate or use pings to relate this to the rest of your team. Beast of the Hunt is an ultimate that should be used to initiate a fight. When activated, the player is given a 25% movement speed increase for 35 seconds, meaning you can quickly move in and out of battle and reposition yourself for the flank. It also allows the player to see enemies who are highlighted in red perfectly through smoke and gas. Recent footsteps are also highlighted in red, allowing you to track down any enemies who evade your vision. It's relatively straightforward, and I personally use it to close the gap between me and the enemy, and that is where Bloodhound excels. Whilst Bloodhound can be played defensively, he shines when played aggressively. New players may find comfort in deviating from the path that enemies took less than 60 seconds ago, but Bloodhound's abilities allow you to utilize an aggressive playstyle extremely well. A couple of important points to note. This ability can take a few seconds to activate, so make sure you use it before going into a fight, rather than trying to activate after the shooting starts. As mentioned earlier in this video, Bloodhound's Ultima and Tactical can be used to see through smoke, and this is where I highly recommend players play Bloodhound and Bangalore. It's a match made in heaven. This combo is the straightforward 1-2 punch you were looking for. Blast your enemies away with Bangalore smoke, then using Bloodhound's Ultima, quickly pick them all off while they're confused and blinded. If you like to play aggressive, push the flank and hunt the enemy, then Bloodhound is the right choice for you. His abilities are all extremely useful when used in the right conditions, and he can always provide further support to the team through the use of his tracker ability. I've invested around 25 to 30 hours into this character, and I can tell you, he's going to be my main. Aside from a few performance bugs and glitches with his Ultima, which I'm hoping will be patched by the next update, Bloodhound is the easy pick for anyone looking to take the fight to the enemy. Bloodhound is a predator. He hunts and tracks his enemies, but his abilities can lead to his demise if not used correctly. In fact, remember this line from Predator and you might just survive.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please consider sharing it and hitting the like and subscribe buttons down below. Also, leave a comment if you have any tips or feedback for future videos. Be sure to check out my other Ultimate guide for Mirage and my first impressions video for Apex Legends. Links will be posted down below. In the meantime, I'll catch you all on the next video.